Hi everyone, so today we're going to be taking a look at my cobalt blue colors. So this won't be like a direct comparison, but more of like a video showing you all of the cobalt blues that I have and their differences. So let me take you through which ones we'll be swatching today first. So my first ever cobalt blue is Rembrandt's cobalt blue made with PB28. That's just your regular cobalt blue. And then Mijello's Cobalt Blue number 2, which is their single pigment cobalt blue, also made with PB28. The reason I have these two brands is because I could get them rather affordably here in Thailand because they go on sale, I wouldn't say often, but probably like once or twice a year, and then so I, wait for their clearance sales, things like that. So I can get them quite affordably, that's why I have them. And for these two here, I was kindly gifted by my watercolor fairy. Thank you so much. So that's why I have these two. This one here is Turner's Cobalt Blue Deep PB74, and this one is Szmal's Aquarius Cobalt Blue PB72. So let's have a look at all of these. First up is Rembrandt's Cobalt Blue. Here we go. Beautifully pigmented. Really nice to work with. I've been using this quite a lot, so I know that it works well and it granulates well. Very nice middle blue. I wouldn't say the granulation is like super in your face like Daniel Smith's, but it is there and it's apparent, so it's not like a soft granulation or anything, but yeah, so on a scale of like softly granulating like ultramarine pink and super granulating like some Daniel Smith colors, Rembrandt's is sort of like, right in the middle. And then here we have Mijello's Cobalt Blue number 2, single pigment PB28. Oh, it's pretty identical. Again, I haven't worked or like painted much with Mijello's Cobalt Blue yet, just because I've been using Rembrandt's for so long, and I only recently got Mijello's Cobalt Blue in a tube. But yeah, they look pretty similar, like pretty identical. Mijello's is like the tiniest bit. It feels like it has like the tiniest bit of white in it in mass tone, but you know what, we'll see once it dries. Maybe there won't be much of a difference. But yeah, granulation coming through really nicely. Let's now move on to PB74. Oh wow, I wouldn't say there's not much of a difference. I mean, it does lean a bit warmer than the first two. Yeah, compared to these other ones, the Rembrandt's and the Mijello's, it does look slightest bit warmer. On screen it doesn't look that different. I wouldn't say it's as warm as ultramarine blues. It's just the slightest bit warmer than Rembrandt's and Mijello's PB28. And now let's try Szmal's PB72. Oh wow, okay, this looks more like a cerulean blue of sorts. Without having anything to compare it to, it does feel like cerulean blue PB36. Like a more muted, dark cerulean blue. That's very interesting. All of them seem to be granulating quite well, but I want to wait for them to all dry completely first before we take a look at them, so I'll be right back. And I'm back. The swatches have all completely dried. These two cobalt blues by Rembrandt and Mijello are basically your typical standard PB28 cobalt blue, a middle blue that is granulating, and I'd say these are pretty similar. They're like pretty identical. So if you want to experience the regular Cobalt Blue, one of these two will work just fine. However, Cobalt Blue Deep by Turner, made with PB74, it does lean more warm. It's not as warm as ultramarine blue, so if you've never been a fan of ultramarine blue or normal regular PB28 cobalt blue, then this might actually be a color or like the perfect hue that you want. I do have to say though that this one is a little bit more opaque than your regular ultramarine blue, so if that's something you prefer or not, just do be aware of that. And for Roman Szmal's cobalt blue made with PB72, this one is just not the same as these at all. It looks more like a darker, deeper cerulean blue, PB36 sort of thing. So if you're trying to experience the middle blue that normal cobalt blues are, this is definitely not the hue. However, if you are looking for like a deep, dark cerulean blue, but not to the point of cobalt blue, then this Roman Szmal might be one that you would want to consider trying. I'm looking at the swatches here, and actually, if I take these two out and just look at these two would actually make a good warm blue and a cool blue in a palette. That's very interesting. Personally, I do like this cobalt blue, this like middle blue that's granulating for limited palettes, because I don't really like ultramarine blue on its own as a color. It's a very good mixer and I have it in my palettes, but it's not a color that I would say, oh, ultramarine blue is my favorite color. However, I do like cerulean blue made with PB35, and if I mix ultramarine blue with cerulean blue PB35, then I get this middle blue here, like cobalt blue. So that's sort of like a happy medium for me, where I still see cerulean blue in it, but I also get that sort of high tinting strength from the ultramarine hue, you know? I'm actually really happy with the granulation of all of these. I'd say the lowest granulation is Turner's. Somehow it doesn't seem to granulate as much as the other ones, but the other three here do granulate well. Okay, I guess that's all I have for you today for this color comparison. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drink lots of water and stay hydrated.